Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, relief for the Northeast and the major storm in the West. Overnight, rain and snow finally falling as the Northeast deals with record drought. The West, impacted by the bomb cyclone and atmospheric river. Ginger is tracking the life-threatening flash flooding, plus the winter storm warning for some areas.
Key ruling in the Idaho College murders case. The death penalty stays on the table. This morning, the reaction from Kaylee Goncalves' family.
On the Hill, former Congressman Matt Gaetz trying to win over Senate Republicans to get the votes to become Attorney General. The Ethics Committee deadlocks on releasing his report, plus the police report on Pete Hegseth.
Cooking up something big. What McDonald's has planned for fast food prices.
And is that a goat?
We're honorary members of the International Order of Old Goats.
Two goats on the court. After becoming the winningest coach in college history.
Victory number 1,217. And Gino Auriemma is college basketball's all-time wins leader.
UConn's women's basketball coach Gino Auriemma is going to join us live. And it was a fiery night at the CMA Awards.
You ain't nothing but a liar.
Lara takes us backstage.
Whoa, dude.
With the night's big winners.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
The CMAs are always so special. Good morning, America. We have a busy morning. Lara is in Nashville. Michael, you've got two big interviews for us today.
I do. They're right there. Yeah, two fun interviews. Angelina Jolie talked about her new movie, Maria, where she plays Maria Callas, and she was fantastic. And my buddy, Jaleel White.
Urkel.
Can I do that? That's right, Urkel. Well, growing up, Urkel, he has a new book out, so it was fun to catch up with him, but looking forward to showing everybody both of those.
Good. Also had Black Friday is just over a week away. Of an exclusive look at the latest Better Business Bureau scam alert. Plus a new report on chronic pain. It's taking a look at who's suffering. We have expert advice on what you can do to help alleviate the pain. This can be really helpful to millions of Americans who live with that kind of chronic pain.
So many people do. You're right about that, George. We're going to begin, though, the extreme weather on both coasts. The deadly bomb cyclone and atmospheric river bringing torrential rain to the west. Northeast, we're finally getting some much-needed rain, even some snow in some areas.
That's right. It's happening. We are finally seeing rain. We had 0.71 inches so far in New York City. Well, all right, we'll take it. We need about 8-9 more inches to make up for what we've lost. But hey, it's a start, and it will start a pattern that looks like it's shifting. Most of that now is in western Connecticut, kind of moving into almost the Berkshires there. It'll get to Boston in the next couple of hours. But that came along with some serious, severe storms. Pittsburgh NWS is going to be out today doing a survey of what was likely a tornado, but they also had wind gusts close to there of 77 miles per hour. So that came through with the warm front and this low. And now we're going to add another low. It's going to wrap up. And you were talking about the snow, Robin, from the Poconos into, say, the Catskills, and then wrapping all the way down the spine of Appalachia there. Philadelphia is going to get close to that rain snow line. So things are certainly changing. Let's go west, though, because this bomb cyclone, remember, that's just dropping 24 millibars in at least 24 hours. Well, we doubled that. The atmospheric river that is kind of conditioned by it is going to be the big part today. Rare, high risk for life-threatening flash flooding. We're talking about an additional 6 to 10 inches of rain on top of what could have been a half foot or a foot already. So we could see rock slides all the way through the weekend.
Wow, make it really dangerous out there. All right, thank you so much for that, Ginger. And let's go to Mola Lengi in Sonoma County, California, in the middle of that major storm. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, Michael. From the Pacific Northwest to Northern California, where we are here, the rain and winds have been punishing, causing some significant damage. Just check out this tree here falling into these cars, nearly taking out this house in this neighborhood. Here in Sonoma County, we've seen about a half foot of rain in just a 24-hour period.
Overnight, winds up to 98 miles per hour and up to a foot of rain slamming the Pacific Northwest. The powerful system known as a bomb cyclone was one of the strongest in years. This morning, over 350,000 people waking up without power.
Everything's closed down.
Trees crashing down on homes and vehicles after wind gusts reached to more than 60 miles per hour, causing widespread damage throughout the Seattle area. Windshield smashed and this car flattened. The driver miraculously survived.
It's just kind of terrifying that something like that could happen.
At least 2 people have been killed by falling trees, including a woman inside this home. And in Northern California, winds up to 58 miles per hour, sending this tree crashing onto a home north of San Francisco. And in the mountains, avalanche warnings, more than a foot of snow, already stranding drivers.
Well, this consistent rainfall expected to continue through the weekend, with some spots in the region potentially seeing an additional 10 inches, George.
Well, thanks. We're turning now to new developments in the suspected sabotage of underwater data cables in the Baltic Sea. Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz tracking the story from Washington. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, George. This morning, a criminal investigation has now been opened into the severing of 2 fiber optic cables at the bottom of the Baltic Sea, cables vital for data transfer between some European nations, which are this morning calling this an act of sabotage against Ukraine's Western allies. No one has directly accused Russia, but foreign ministers, including those from Germany, Poland, and the UK, saying Moscow's escalating hybrid activities against NATO and EU countries, which they called unprecedented in scale and variety, are creating significant security risks. Moscow has denied they had any involvement, but a Danish military ship is right now tracking a Chinese-flagged vessel in the Baltic Sea they suspect may be linked to Russia and this suspected sabotage. Robin?
Thank you, Martha. And as you know, that controversy coming amid breaking news overnight in the war in Ukraine. Ukraine making accusations that Russia might have used an intercontinental ballistic missile. Our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, is in Kyiv for us this morning. Good morning to you, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. That's right. Overnight, multiple strikes by Russia on the eastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro, and the situation is rather confused. The big question, what was it? Ukraine initially saying it was an ICBM strike, and President Zelensky just reinforcing that in the last few minutes, but they're still assessing. ICBMs have never been used in combat before and are nuclear capable, but this wasn't a nuclear strike, and a Western official also saying they didn't think it was an ICBM, but many agreeing that they haven't seen a strike like this before. The Kremlin refusing to comment, but of course the attack comes in the wake of Ukraine firing American ballistic missiles and the US embassy here closing yesterday amid fears about a potential Russian attack. And we're also hearing that North Korean generals and high-ranking officers were present at the site of yesterday's strike using British cruise missiles into Russia. I mean, frankly, it's been a week of escalations. All of this is going to be a huge challenge for President-elect Trump and his plans to try and end Russia's war here in Ukraine. Michael?
Yeah, that definitely will be a challenge there, Ian. Thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to the battle over President-elect Trump's pick for Attorney General. The House Ethics Committee voted not to release report on its investigation to former Congressman Matt Gaetz as Gaetz tries to win over Senate Republicans. Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl is near Mar-a-Lago with more. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Michael. President-elect Trump and his allies are preparing to play hardball with Senate Republicans, pressuring them to get in line and to support all of his controversial nominees, including his choice for Attorney General Matt Gaetz. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz is on a charm offensive, trying to win over Senate Republicans to get the votes he needs to become Attorney General, as he faces allegations of having sex with an underage girl and paying women for sex, all of which he fervently denies.
Folks have been very supportive. They've been saying we're going to get a fair process, so it's a great day of momentum for the Trump-Vance administration.
With Vice President-elect J.D. Vance by his side, Gaetz met with several senators. Meetings a Trump transition official tells ABC News were, quote, productive, adding that Gaetz listened to what the senators had to say about the confirmation process. But behind the scenes, the Trump team has an ominous warning to Senate Republicans who might oppose any of Trump's nominees. One senior Trump advisor told ABC News, the message is, quote, if you are on the wrong side of the vote, you're buying yourself a primary. That is all. And there's a guy named Elon Musk who is going to finance it. The Trump advisor added, quote, the president gets to decide his cabinet, no one else. Some Republican senators are already on board.
President Trump won the popular vote. He swept all the battleground states. And I think he was given a mandate by the American people. So I think he deserves the right to have his people in place.
But others are holding out, especially when it comes to the nomination of Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General.
I I was shocked by the nomination, given the many allegations, but that's why it's important that the Senate go through its process.
Trump has suggested if any of his nominees are not confirmed, he would bypass the Senate by appointing cabinet members while Congress is in recess, an idea some Republicans say is out of bounds.
That should be absolutely off the table, and quite honestly, any serious candidate for a cabinet-level position, I would have to really wonder if they would want it or be willing to accept it under a recess appointment. These positions are too important and carry too much weight internationally to take a shortcut.
Gates' nomination is in doubt in light of accusations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, which were investigated by the bipartisan House Ethics Committee. Gates denies any wrongdoing, but Democrats and some Senate Republicans are pushing for the release of the Ethics Committee report on their Gates investigation. After more than 2 hours of debate behind closed doors on Wednesday, Republicans on the Ethics Committee voted against releasing their report, at least for now.
There was not an agreement by the committee to release the report.
Some Republican senators have said regardless of whether the report is released, the allegations will be examined, as Gates, like every nominee, faces a confirmation hearing.
No rubber stamps and no lynch mob. He will be held to account in the confirmation process. He deserves a chance to make his argument why he should be Attorney General.
Today, another one of President Trump's controversial nominees will be on Capitol Hill meeting with Republican senators. That'll be Pete Hegseth, George, his choice to run the Defense Department.
And John, overnight, the police report on the sexual assault claim against Hegseth was released.
Yeah, this was a sexual assault claim from 2017. The police report has now been made public. It shows that the woman at the center of the allegations told police that Hegseth took her phone and prevented her from leaving his hotel room. She said that she remembered saying no a lot. Now, George, Hegseth has denied these allegations. He says that it was consensual. The police ultimately referred the report to the local district attorney. Ultimately, no charges were filed, although, as you know, Hegseth has acknowledged paying the woman not to go public with her allegations, his attorney saying he wanted to prevent it from going public so it wouldn't threaten his career.
And John, on another front, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have put out an op-ed detailing their plans to cut the federal workforce, they say trillions potentially of dollars, but there are real questions about how much they can cut, whether they can cut, how much it would save.
Yeah, I mean, they're outlining, as you know, at various times they have talked about $2 trillion out of a federal budget that is just over $6 trillion. Among the things they talked about in this op-ed in the Wall Street Journal were mass firings of federal employees and requiring all federal employees to show up 5 days a week at the office, no more working from home.
John Carl, thanks very much, Michael.
All right, thank you, George. We're going to turn now to the Idaho student's murder case. The judge is refusing to take the death penalty off the table ahead of suspect Bryan Kohberger's murder trial. Kana Whitworth joined us with the details and reaction from the families. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Michael, good morning to you. So the judge in this case says the death penalty is settled law in Idaho, as is execution by lethal injection or firing squad, and that avoiding their client's distress is not a reason to breach those laws.
This morning, the death penalty stays.
All rise. District Court is now in session.
Lawyers for Bryan Kohberger using a flurry of motions to argue the death penalty should be taken off the table. Judge Stephen Hippler handing down his 55-page decision, saying in part, relief in Kohberger's favor is not warranted on any of the 12 motions the defense filed. The family of Kaylee Gonsalves telling ABC News in part, there is a newfound level of seriousness that has been absent for far too long. Kohberger's attorneys argued that Idaho's death penalty violated his constitutional rights, and execution by firing squad if lethal injection drugs are not available is cruel and unusual. But the judge, siding with the prosecution, stating this motion is not ripe for discussion because Kohberger hasn't been convicted.
These arguments may be done for now, but at the appellate level, the defense will re-raise them again in an attempt to try to save Bryan Kohberger's life.
The defense, who says Kohberger is innocent, also filing sweeping challenges to the state's key evidence and accusing Pennsylvania law enforcement of failing to read his Miranda rights the night of his arrest, A source telling ABC News on the way to the police station, Kohberger asked if anyone else was arrested.
Now, Kaylee's family also telling us they feel like justice is moving forward. The next hearing in this case is January, and the trial will start in August. George.
Okay, Kana, thanks. None of the reaction to the verdict in the Lake and Riley case. A judge sentenced Jose Ibarra to life in prison without parole for killing the Georgia nursing student. Faith Abube joins us from Atlanta. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, George. Jose Ibarra's murder case threw fuel on this country's debate over border security. But here in Georgia, inside that courtroom yesterday, the focus was on Laken Riley, the victim, and the overwhelming evidence against her convicted killer.
I sentence you to life without the possibility of parole.
After being found guilty on all counts, Jose Ibarra will spend the rest of his life behind bars for murdering nursing student Laken Riley. The judge rendering his verdict and sentence almost immediately after closing arguments.
Oftentimes, people use the term closure at an event like this, and I acknowledge that there's no such thing as closure.
Ibarra is an undocumented migrant from Venezuela. His DNA, fingerprints, and surveillance video helping prosecutors convince the court that Ibarra was hunting for women as Riley was out on a run near the University of Georgia campus.
I now get to explain to people when they ask me if I have a sibling that I no longer have one, and not just because she passed away, but because she got brutally attacked and murdered. I cannot walk around my own college campus because I'm terrified of people like Jose Ibarra.
And Robin, the DA says the verdict is a tremendous justice for Laken Riley's family. Robin.
And we continue to lift that family up. Faith, thank you. We're going to turn now to history made in college basketball. UConn women's head coach Gino Auriemma becoming the winningest coach in NCAA history. We're going to hear from Gino live, but first, let's see how he got to 1,217 wins.
Thank you, Gino, for 40 incredible seasons!
Overnight, UConn's head coach Gino Auriemma making history.
Victory number 1,217. And Gino Auriemma is college basketball's all-time wins leader.
With just seconds left against Fairleigh Dickinson, Coach Auriemma keeping his cool.
And the Gamble crowd begins to rise to its feet.
The 70-year-old coaching the decorated women's basketball team at UConn for 40 years, leading them to the Final Four 23 times and earning 11 national championships.
There's a replica $1,217 bills falling from the rafters now.
Showered with accolades, fit for the GOAT himself.
Honorary members of the International Order of Old Goats.
More than 60 former players there to support, some who continued on to the WNBA.
This is something that has never been done before.
You two had a belief, get better every day.
We always come back because of you, Coach. We come back because of you, and don't you ever forget that. We love you.
And Gino's going to join us live in our play of the day. Also ahead, what McDonald's is doing about their value meal.
Plus, a possible break in the investigation into burglaries at the homes of high-profile professional athletes.
And 3 decades after her conviction for killing her young son, Susan Smith's plea for parole. Stay there. We'll be right back.
Back here on GMA, Jelly Roll taking the CMA Awards higher. An electrifying performance of his hit Liar with Keith Urban on guitar. And I'm telling you, Keith plays a mean guitar. Wow, it was a great night for country music. Lara was backstage with the winners during the show. She got up bright and early to join us to tell us all about it. It's coming up.
We're looking forward to that. Following a lot of headlines right now, including the major storm in the west that is bringing strong winds. The biggest threat today is flash flooding as atmospheric river pounds northern California. Also right now, the latest on Botham Jean, the Dallas man shot and killed by an off-duty police officer while he was eating ice cream in his own home. Yesterday, a jury awarded Jean's family $98 million in damages.
Also, take a look at this piece of art titled Comedian that sold for $6.2 million at an auction last night. It's exactly what you see there. It's a banana that's taped to a wall with silver duct tape. Yeah, the founder of a cryptocurrency platform bought it and said he plans to eat the banana in the coming days.
Gotta hurry up.
Yeah, he could buy a whole bunch of bushel though for 6.2. Better hurry up. Oh boy. And there's a debate brewing at the theater as the highly anticipated movie Wicked is finally released. The question is, can you sing along? Well, AMC Theater, the nation's largest theater chain, reminded moviegoers against disruptive behavior, including singing. However, fans will get a gift for Christmas. Starting on December 25th, the movie is planning interactive showings of the movie musical. So go to those and sing along.
I know. Oh, sure, we should go not on Christmas. Is that's basically what you're saying?
If you want a quiet movie experience, just the movie with the professionals, you go on any day except for Christmas. Yeah, we've got a lot more ahead, including a possible break in the investigation into the thefts from the homes of star athletes, including Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That is all coming up, Robin.
But right now, Susan Smith, the South Carolina woman serving a life sentence for drowning her 2 young sons. She was denied parole after making a tearful plea for release. Eva Pilgrim is here with those details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. Susan Smith originally concocted a story that someone took her 2 little boys. At the time, people were genuinely fearful that someone was taking children, only to be more horrified by the truth of what she did.
It was a case that gripped the nation. Susan Smith, the woman accused of murdering her 2 young children, now making a plea for her freedom.
What I did was so horrible. And I would give anything if I could go back and change it. And I loved Michael and Alice with all my heart.
30 years ago, the then 23-year-old South Carolina mother claimed she was carjacked, her sons, 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alex, kidnapped by a black man. She stood before cameras pleading for her sons to be returned.
I want to say to my babies that your mama loves you so much.
At the time, it was an all-out search for the 2 boys. But 9 days into it all, Smith shocked everyone, admitting it was all a lie.
Susan Smith has been arrested and will be charged with 2 counts of murder.
Smith confessing to driving her car into a South Carolina lake, leaving her sons inside, strapped in their car seats. At trial, prosecutors say she killed her children because she was having an affair and wanted to start a new life.
State versus Susan Smith, 2 counts of murder.
She was sentenced to life in prison. Wednesday, Smith telling the parole board she has changed.
I was just scared. I didn't know how I could tell the people that loved them that they would never see them again.
Her ex-husband David speaking out at the hearing, asking the board to keep her behind bars.
This wasn't a tragic mistake. I've never have felt any remorse from her for it.
Smith's time behind bars hasn't been without trouble. She's been disciplined multiple times for using drugs and having sex with 2 prison guards. The parole board deciding not to grant Smith her freedom at this time.
And Susan Smith will be eligible for parole again in 2 years. David Smith vowing to be there, saying he will be there every time she comes up for parole, planning to fight to keep her behind bars.
And you said you were living in South Carolina during that time, and your mom would let you...
People were genuinely afraid that someone was out there taking children. Everyone was looking for these 2 little boys.
So just a horrifying story. Okay, Eva, thank you. We're going to turn now to the new development in the investigation into thefts at the home of some of the country's most popular pro athletes. Stars including Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are among the victims. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Tursky here with the latest on that. Good morning, Aaron.
And good morning to you, George. The similarities among these burglaries are unmistakable, so police are now working to determine if one particular group is behind them all. They're some of the country's favorite professional athletes.
Mahomes flings it. It's there! As Kelce's got a first down.
And this morning, law enforcement sources tell ABC News police in 4 states are investigating the possibility recent burglaries at their homes were the work of a South American crime ring.
Conley for 3.
It's one avenue police are pursuing as they try to solve burglaries targeting Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, tight end Travis Kelce, Milwaukee Bucks forward Bobby Portis, and Minnesota Timberwolves guard Mike Conley. He was hyping up the crowd at a Minnesota Vikings football game the Sunday his suburban Minneapolis home was broken into and jewelry was stolen. Burglars hit the houses of Mahomes and Kelce as they prepared to kick off a Monday night football game.
It's frustrating. It's disappointing.
Bobby Portis posted on social media the burglars made off with some of his prized possessions, and he asked his fans to help.
I am now offering a $40K cash reward. You can stay anonymous and still receive the cash reward.
Authorities in California, Colorado, and Michigan have recently reported break-ins carried out by South American crime rings that target wealthy areas. Surveillance footage capturing alleged suspects breaking into high-end homes in Detroit.
These are sophisticated and disciplined people who work in groups around the country, targeting any celebrity, especially an athlete, has a lot of memorabilia, has awards and rings and jewelry, cash in the house. The criminals know when they're going to be out of town or away.
Again, this South America crime ring's just one possibility with this case. As one source told us, you don't want to discount a local person who can very easily find out where a pro athlete's going to be on any given night.
So easy to check that out, unfortunately.
Now on GMA, with McDonald's doubling down on its value menu as it looks to win back customers and boost sales. Elizabeth Schulze joins us with the details. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hey, good morning, Michael. This is a new push to attract those customers fed up with high fast food prices. McDonald's tells us we went big on value this summer and fall, and as we look to 2025, we are cooking up something even bigger. CNBC reports that will mean extending that $5 meal deal through the first half of next year. The deal, of course, includes a choice of McDouble or McChicken, 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and a small drink. And customers will also now have a new option to buy one item full price and add on another, like a double cheeseburger, for just $1. Last month, McDonald's did warn that sales would be dented by that E. coli outbreak. Executives say they are hyper-focused on low prices, as we've seen other fast food chains like Burger King, Wendy's, and KFC also dish up those $5 value meals. We're not quite back to the days of a $1 meal, but the $5 deal does look like it's a little bit more of a fixture on the menu here. Guys.
Oh, we remember those $1 deals so long ago. Elizabeth, thank you. Now, with our play of the day, and as we shared with you in our first half hour, history made in college basketball. UConn women's head coach Geno Auriemma is joining us live now after becoming the winningest coach in NCAA history. 1,217 wins, being a Connecticut living resident. I've witnessed many of those victories there at Gamble Pavilion. Geno, congratulations to you. You have done so much to set records for the school, for your players, and now you have a record that is all yours. Can you just share your emotions this morning?
Is that how many points you scored?
Close to it. Close to it. Yeah.
I don't mean a career. I mean like during 1 year. You know, like Robin was a famous basketball player that a lot of people don't know about. But you know, anytime something like this happens, you're always thinking about how many people made it happen, and I was fortunate to have that many people there that were just so instrumental. All these iconic players. So it's hard to put into words, Robin, because it was never planned. It just something that happened, you know.
Yeah, but come on, you had like 60.
What?
60 of your former players that were there last night. And Geno, they always talk about it being a family. How did you and your excellent staff, how did you go about building that environment for your players to make them feel that way?
You know, when we started in 1985, we said, let's do this like we would if we were coaching a high school team. Like, what would we do? All right, we would take a certain kind of kid. We would have certain standards. We would place, certain emphasis on what we think is important, about character, school, and how we're going to treat other people, and we've never wavered from that, Robin. And so everybody that came here, I don't care if you were Diana Taurasi or Maya Moore, or you were a walk-on, you were treated the same way, and we expected the same things from you. And that's just not wavered after over 40 years.
Yeah, you yelled at them the same way, whether they were a walk-on or a star.
Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, 23 Final Four appearances, 11 championships, 6 perfect seasons. What's in your special sauce there, Geno?
Well, there's a lot of people working at Good Morning America, I would think, to make this show go. but there's only 3 people that get to sit where you're sitting. So the key is to make sure that the people that matter, that make sure that it gets done the right way, that you get those people. And we've been so unbelievably fortunate, and I've been lucky that we've been able to bring to Storrs, Connecticut, some of the most iconic players that ever played. Because, you know, if we couldn't have done that, then none of this would have happened.
Oh, wow. And I'm glad, thank you for what you said, because we feel, Michael, George, and I feel the same way. I mean, we're the ones, the face of GMA, but it's everybody, everyone who makes this place number one.
That's right.
40 years.
That's right.
40 years. So what is it? Compare the state of the game now to where it was when you started, and where do you see it going, Gino?
Well, you know, it's funny. You were there in that iconic game when we played Tennessee, right? On Martin Luther King Day. You know what that game was like, Robin? That game was like UCLA-Houston game at the Astrodome, which kind of propelled college basketball on the men's side into a whole nother level. And I think that game and the way, you know, it evolved between, you know, Pat's team and my team, I just think it started something that now, obviously, the way it's going right now, there's so much more emphasis, more attention, more credibility has come to the women's game. Not because it wasn't there before, it's just that nobody brought the attention to it. You know, you and I did a lot of great games for, you know, in the WNBA, but today, now, it's become mainstream. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, these kids were always there, but now people are really getting a chance to see them firsthand.
And primarily because of coaches like you, Gino. Thank you so much. I love the Kathy.
Coach.
Congratulations. Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Relief for the Northeast and the major storm in the West. Overnight, rain and snow finally falling as the Northeast deals with record drought. The West impacted by the bomb cyclone and atmospheric river. Ginger is tracking the life-threatening flash flooding, plus the winter storm warning for some areas. The new report on chronic pain and what you can do to alleviate the pain.
Tori Johnson is in the house.
Celebrating 20 years of Tori.
You are the ultimate expert on this, Tori.
Bringing us deals and steals.
Big savings, Tori. What do we have?
While championing small businesses.
Angelina Jolie taking center stage.
I will sing when I am ready to sing.
Talking about her kids, her latest role, and more.
And all of my children suffered through my early opera singing in the house before I got kind of good, which was a nightmare.
Lara was there in Nashville for it all backstage at the CMAs, and she's up bright and early for us again this morning. Good to see you, Lara. Good morning.
Good to see you, Robin. Good morning to you from Nashville. You know, they call it country music's biggest night for a reason, and the CMA Awards this year proved to be a record-breaking night. Chris Stapleton and Brooks and Dunn both breaking the record for the most CMA Awards in history. Old Dominion did it as well. They became the winningest vocal group in the history of the show. And coming up, you will see how everyone here in Nashville was in the mood to celebrate, guys.
Well, no one better to bring it to us than you, Lara. Thank you, and we'll see you in a little bit. And also, just ahead, so many of us have already started our holiday shopping, and we have a first look at the new warning from the Better Business Bureau on shopping scams.
First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the extreme weather on both coasts. The deadly bomb cyclone and atmospheric rivers bringing torrential rain to the west. Northeast finally getting some much needed rain, even snow in some areas. Of course, Ginger's tracking it. Good morning, Ginger.
Hey, good morning. So at least 2 people were killed in Washington state. Separate incidences where trees fell onto them or the home they were in. And unfortunately, that came from winds of 60 to 98 miles per hour. Northern California also with the big winds. And now it's all about the fire hose of that rain. The winds will still be 30 to 60. There are still some wind advisories out there, but it's about this atmospheric river pouring for the next 24 hours from Mendocino to Eureka. but all the way down into the northern Bay Area. We're watching those streams and rivers carefully because they've already had a half foot to a foot, and now you're going to add another 6 to 10 inches on top of it. Mudslides and rock slides through the weekend. Then we go to the East Coast. The storm that is bringing us rain also brought severe storms, gusts up to 77 miles per hour near Pittsburgh, and they'll be out today doing a survey to see if that was a tornado. Potential that was. Now we're watching for that heavy rain in western Connecticut this afternoon, Boston, and then the wraparound will give us even more. We've had about, short of 3/4 of an inch, but boy, every little bit will count. And then the snowy side of this is western Minnesota, where I-94 was a wreck because of that light snow. And today we're seeing it in Green Bay this morning, down through Milwaukee. Chicago had their first freeze this morning. Cincinnati and Indianapolis in winter weather advisories. Michael.
All right, Ginger, thank you so much for that. And we're going to turn now to the emotional farewell to One Direction member Liam Payne. Chief International Correspondent James Longman joins us from London with more. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. A horse-drawn carriage topped with white roses accompanied Liam Payne into his funeral yesterday, where all the remaining members of One Direction were there to say a final goodbye.
A somber gathering as family and close friends paid their final respects to One Direction singer Liam Payne.
Although I am broken, my heart is unchained still.
Former members of the band reuniting for the private funeral northwest of London. Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson and Zayn Malik, all there, bowing their heads as they entered the church. Niall seen here hugging another mourner. Also arriving, former late-night host James Corden and Simon Cowell, who discovered Liam when he was just 14 years old on the hit competition show X Factor.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
His parents, Jeff and Karen Payne, visibly distraught, and girlfriend Kate Cassidy, who was with him on his final trip, making her way into the service. A crowd gathering as his casket was brought in by horse-drawn carriage, decorated in white roses that paid tribute to him. One arrangement reading Son and another Daddy.
And that floral arrangement reading Daddy was from his son Bear. He's 7 years old. He was at the funeral alongside his mother Cheryl, Liam's ex. Robin?
We are thinking of them. James, thank you so much. We have an exclusive look now at the latest Better Business Bureau scam alert. Urgent information as millions begin their holiday shopping. Whit Johnson is here with what you need to know to avoid becoming a victim. Good morning to you, Whit.
Hey, Robin, good morning. So the Better Business Bureau says shoppers in the U.S. are expected to spend more than $240 billion online this holiday season, and scammers are ready to pounce. The scammers often using fake ads on social media, sometimes offering deep discounts on popular or hard-to-find items. The Bureau says reports of online scams are skyrocketing, up 125% over last year. In 2023, the BBB taking in nearly 30,000 reports of people being scammed. That's more than double reported the previous year. The median loss was $73. Now, the study says the most popular scams involve viral items, beauty products, exercise shoes, puppies, even rare animals. Spotting a scam is not that easy, though, but here are some red flags. Items offered at a deep discount, a popular item sold by an unknown retailer, and the seller asks that you pay through a payment app rather than a credit card. So here are some tips to avoid being a victim. Be skeptical of ads that you see on social media. Research the company to make sure it's legit. You can do that by checking the URL to see if any letters are off, or compare the item to a known retailer you trust. The bottom line here, be cautious, verify the products if you can, and if the deal looks too good to be true, perhaps it is. Guys?
Okay, well, thanks very much. Coming up on our GMA Morning Menu, the study on chronic pain, the group suffering the most, and expert tips on how to ease the symptoms.
Also ahead, Angelina Jolie is getting Oscar buzz for her new role. We talked about her kids, and she told me about learning to sing opera for the movie.
Okay, I'm in. Plus, happy 20th anniversary, Tori Johnson. Tori has been a beloved member of the GMA family. Can you believe this? 20 years, and we are celebrating. But Tori is the one bringing the gifts this morning, as you can see in Deals and Steals. That's how she rolls. And another gift that keeps on giving, that's Lara, right there in Nashville. Hello again, Lara.
Hey, Robin. Yeah, what a night for country music. So many great performances here. Really, it's like a 2-for-1 special, if you will. It's a dream concert and the biggest awards show in country music. Not to mention, it's also just the best night of the year here in Nashville, and we were backstage for it all with the big winners. We'll have it coming up on Good Morning America.
Is that rain?
We finally got some rain here in New York, some umbrellas out in Times Square. And welcome back, everybody. Denzel Washington is here tomorrow. He's going to tell us all about Gladiator 2 and the piano lesson. Cannot wait to see both of those. I got a little sneak peek of Gladiator 2 last night.
Of course you did. Of course you did. That's
fantastic.
how you roll.
Denzel is the man. All right, George, what you got?
Thank you, guys. I got our GMA cover story, a new report from the CDC about chronic pain. It's higher for women, the elderly, and adults who live far from a city. And joining us to talk about it is neurologist Dr. Leah Kroll. Thank you for coming back this morning. What stood out in the study to you?
So, George, this report uses data from the CDC's National Health Interview Survey. And the headline finding was that in 2023, 23.4% of adults reported chronic pain.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. That means pain that lasts for at least 3 months, if not more. And 8.5% reported high impact chronic pain, which is pain that is so debilitating it gets in the way of your daily life. So not only are there so many people affected by this, millions upon millions of people, but it also turns out that some of us are more affected than others. So in the study, women were 25% more likely to have chronic pain, men 23%. People over the age of 65 had a rate of 36%, so that's quite high in comparison. And those in rural areas did worse compared to those living in big cities, 31% in rural areas, 20% in bigger cities. So there's really some important disparities here.
Anything surprise you about the report?
Yes and no. So we did know from prior research that women, elderly folks, people who live in rural areas are more vulnerable to chronic pain. And so in that sense, these findings are more in line with what we already knew about this. However, I will say that I was surprised to see an uptick in the number of people reporting chronic pain. So remember that headline finding, 23.4% with chronic pain in 2023. In 2019, that number was only 20%.
What should people do to alleviate the pain?
So number one, very important to see your doctor. You want to get checked out. You want to make sure you know the cause. You want to focus on wellness strategies, physical therapy, acupuncture, healthy lifestyle, and keep a pain diary if you can.
Thanks for coming in. Robin?
And it's something that so many people, as you've been talking about, suffer from. Thank you to you both. Country music's biggest night, taking over Music City for the 58th annual CMA Awards. Lara, live for us in Nashville. We know you're backstage, so tell us all about it. Good morning, Lara.
Didn't want to leave, Robin. Good morning to you. So the night kicked off with Chris Stapleton and Post Malone bringing down the house with their opening number, and that set the stage for an incredible evening. Amazing performances, record-breaking wins, and a little game backstage with the winners that we like to call This Boot Was Made for Talking.
Whether it was Shabuzi getting the packed house up on their feet, or a star-studded tribute to country legend George Strait.
When that sun is high in that Texas sky, I'll be bucking at the campfire.
The 58th CMA Awards were one for the books.
April's gonna rain and flowers gonna bloom.
We were backstage with all the winners and our GMA Pink Boot. We have a segment we're doing. This boot was made for talking.
Okay.
If you would reach into the magical pink boot, there are questions. Just grab a few.
Who is the most famous person in your phone? Like Olivia Rodrigo, probably.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Brad has the best karaoke song.
Mine is Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Let's go.
Watching time roll.
When I get older, what am I gonna be? When you're just a memory.
White Horse, Chris Stapleton.
White Horse!
Chris Stapleton!
With his 3 wins, including Male Vocalist of the Year, Chris Stapleton now tied for the record for the most CMA wins in history with 19.
Thank you. I'm out of things to say. I love all y'all so much.
Chris and I used to write, and Kix did too. But we would write, and I would tell Chris, I said, "You're a star. You're a star, Chris."
Stapleton now sharing the record with Nashville's favorite duo, Brooks and Dunn. Their win last night also bringing them to a total of 19 CMA awards.
Tonight's a great night. It might as well be the first one.
Said I raised my hand.
To keep up that momentum at this level, what's the secret sauce?
Just staying after it. Do what you love. Find what you love. Keep doing it. Do it as long as you can.
Yeah. And Old Dominion setting a record, beating out Little Big Town for the most wins in a row for Vocal Group of the Year at 7.
It sounds like a dream come true. We started this in a van driving around for no money, so to pick our head up and look, and 7 in a row.
Megan Maroney.
And there were the breakthrough artists like Megan Maroney winning Best New Artist of the Year.
This is for my fans. I would say they're a large reason of why I'm up here right now.
Hard to imagine 4 years ago she was still a student at the University of Georgia studying accounting.
I do think that living those 4 years and having a normal college experience helped me. It helps me write songs. I feel like it might make me more relatable too, because I know what it's like to get
be
your heart
angsty,
broken by a frat guy. You know what I mean?
Stars are gonna light up a midnight sky.
And the CMA award for Album of the Year goes to Leather, Cody Johnson.
Let's talk about some of the winners tonight. Any surprises for you?
Me. Yeah. I'm the surprise.
Fan favorite Cody Johnson surprised at his win for Album of the Year.
I had Chris Stapleton pegged. I had Jelly Roll pegged for the entire deal. But I had said, this is the one I want to win. It really was. And this was the one that I wanted to win because it's such a group effort.
So, how will these newly crowned CMA winners celebrate? Food of choice. Will you do like a takeout situation?
I actually have Cane's waiting for me in the dressing room.
Cane's chicken.
Cane's chicken. The toast, sauce.
The full thing. Chef's kiss.
What drive-thru are you hitting up and what are you ordering? That's going to be a water burger and it's going to be a bacon, egg, and cheese taquito.
Let's go. Sounds good to me. Hey guys, it was so great to see Lainey Wilson host for the first time, and she was working overtime, going toe-to-toe with the boys, Peyton and Luke, but she also performed multiple times and, oh, by the way, took home not 1 but 2 CMA awards, including Female Vocalist of the Year. So congratulations to our friend Lainey. For now, I'm going to send it back to you all in New York.
I love that idea of having them pick out a question like that. That was brilliant. So much fun to see the responses.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That was a Kelly. That was all Kelly Hagan.
She's done it again. Thank you. Be safe getting back.
Now to Academy Award winner Angelina Jolie, generating Oscar buzz once again in her new role as Maria Callas, one of the world's greatest opera singers. And I had the chance to sit down with Angelina to hear all about how she brought this larger-than-life personality to the screen. If you don't know her name, you certainly know her voice. Legendary opera singer Maria Callas takes center stage in the new film Maria, starring Oscar winner Angelina Jolie as the tragic prima donna.
I will sing when I am ready to sing.
And your performance, amazing. It's been called spellbinding.
Thank you.
Maria explores the diva's final days living in Paris, struggling to stage a comeback while reflecting on her glamorous and tumultuous life in the public eye. Her voice, her love life, her every move under constant scrutiny.
Our readers want to know what the hell happened to you.
A lot of times it's hard to watch because you do see a human in her being criticized like that. But it's something that you're familiar with as a celebrity. So were you able to take some of your personal experience that you may have had and use it in the portrayal of Maria?
Sure. I mean, probably a lot that I wouldn't say on morning television. There's obvious things that people would tie our lives and see we have in common, but I think it's more the how hard she is on herself with her work, sometimes seen as strong, but actually very vulnerable and human. I certainly am. I think there's many things. I think we would have been friends.
Think you would have get along really well?
Well, she might have hated me at first. I think I would have grown on her.
Maria, what do you want to sing?
You learned to sing opera.
I did. I thought it was going to be a little more fake singing. I thought it was going to be like movie singing. And then I very quickly realized that you can't fake sing opera, which was still terrifying, still just...
Terrifying to you?
Yeah.
Because they mixed your voices together, so you actually really are singing.
Yeah.
Was that a little scary when you're on set and you know these moments are coming?
Oh my God! The first day, I was an absolute lunatic because I have her in my ear, so I can make sure that I'm singing it technically the same way she is. But the only thing that can be heard on set is me.
Wow.
Somebody said to me, they said, so I don't mean to offend you, but is it mostly you when it's like her older singing? And I said, that doesn't offend me, that I could be a poor Maria, as long as you actually call it singing. That's fantastic.
And you say opera lessons are like therapy. How so?
We all don't realize that different things that happen to us in our life, and you've been through many things, we hold them in our body. Everything is just locked somewhere to help us keep going. And so to really sing and sing very fully, you have to unlock all of that.
Wow.
My first lesson, I took a deep breath and just cried and then left.
It makes sense, though. It actually makes me want to sign up for opera lessons.
Listen, with your physicality, I think the athleticism, I think you'd love it.
I gotta tell you, I did love
encourage your producers to make sure that's a part of the show.
You know what? I will tell you, if you say
make
that,
him do it.
You say that, they'll make me do it. I just want you to know that.
Perhaps we could speak of your life away from the stage.
There is no life away from the stage.
In the film, there's a line where she said, there is no life away from the stage. Is there anything in your life that compares to her love of singing?
My motherhood. Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah, but it's my happiness. You can take everything else away from me. Nothing else matters, yeah.
And you said that your boys, Maddox and Pax, they work on the film. They got the bug for the business?
None of my children want to be in front of the camera at this time.
Interesting.
They're quite private. Shiloh's extremely private. They weren't born with privacy, right? So I hope they can have that as they grow. So we'll see. But yeah, my boys were on set, which was amazing. And all of my children suffered through my early opera singing in the house before I got kind of good, which was a nightmare.
Well, it wasn't a nightmare talking to her. It was a complete pleasure. And the movie is incredible. And I hope everybody takes their time to go out and see it. Maria will be at select theaters next Wednesday and streamed on Netflix starting December the 11th. And we'll be right back.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
We are walking on sunshine because it is a special morning. We are celebrating Tori Johnson's 20th anniversary here at GMA. Over the years, Tori has helped viewers make money with work advice, save money with deals and steals, and champion small businesses all along the way.
Tori Johnson is in the house.
Every Thursday, you know where to find her.
Big savings, Tori. What do we have?
Okay, With her deals and steals, Tori's made it a priority to champion small businesses.
Slash and half, $6.
While helping GMA viewers save big. You are the ultimate expert on this, Tori.
Thank you.
It's a passion that first landed her on GMA in 2004 as the ABC News workplace contributor. And now, 2 decades later, Deals and Steals viewers have saved $1.5 billion, purchased more than 6 million products.
Shop, save, and support Hurricane Helene relief efforts.
And helped raise over $1 million in disaster relief funds.
Companies are donating 25% on every single purchase.
All while changing the trajectory for many small businesses.
I remember Tori selected our When the Stars Align constellation necklace. Within the first few hours of being aired, it was a 6-figure sale.
Sterling forever.
For any small business, that is an instant overnight game changer.
Especially in tough times like the pandemic.
I truly believe if it weren't for
Tori and Deals and Steals, that may have been the reason to close our doors.
There's only one thing left to say.
Congratulations, Tori, to 2 decades at ABC.
We just wouldn't be where we are without you and GMA Deals.
Tori Johnson, happy 20-year anniversary.
Can we give it up one more time for our Tori Johnson?
Thank you.
I gotta tell you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Remember we started with the job fairs?
We did. Well, first, can I just say you and I are aging in reverse? That's my big headline from watching that, seeing those clips. But you know what? I was thinking about that. There are people who came to those job fairs, got their job, and now use that money to shop our deals. There are those viewers who've been with us this whole time, and that's what means the world to me. That's what I know, because sometimes you just think like, oh, you're just here peddling tchotchkes. We're just having fun with things. And the reality is, when I hear Mike from Sterling Forever talk about how this segment can be a game changer to saving jobs in a small business, I don't know if viewers realize, like, you're gonna get this unbelievable marshmallow set here from Softies, but you're also enabling a company they've hired more people because of GMA Deals and Steals. They've expanded their business because you guys at home. And for you to give me that privilege and that honor of doing this, that is the jackpot.
This is why we love you so much, the sincerity, the authenticity. So let's
do it, right? Yeah, let's talk.
Okay.
Feel how soft this is.
Yes.
This is their marshmallow fabric. They have now converted it into a 2-piece brand new lounger set. It's got those bracelet sleeves. Every single detail is thoughtful on this. It's an elastic waist. They even put pockets in there. The set today, and all these brand new colors for fall. The set today is 50% off.
All right, now,
it's a good one.
Amelia Rose.
Yes, you and I. This is
right now.
This has been an original since the beginning of Deals and Steals. Amelia Rose. We've evolved with her. These are her initial pieces, initial necklaces. We've got the diamond ones as well as the beautiful mother of pearl. It's like a little shimmering mother of pearl. I'm wearing the diamond one, genuine diamonds. She puts so much love and attention into her pieces, and that's why you wear them. I wear them. You guys love them. All 50% off today.
We love you, Amelia.
We do. Okay, this. So one of the great things about Deals is introducing new things. So pick this one up right here. This is a whisk for your matchas, lattes, protein drinks. So you're just gonna push this button right here on top. This one right there. Push that, and then it's going to whisk that. Oh my gosh! The ingredients right in there. So if you
don't have to do the shaking.
You don't have to do the shaking. And then in the middle of the day, if it settles and you haven't finished it yet, just whisk it up a little bit more. And they're so sleek and beautiful. 50% off today from this.
Feels good in the hand.
Feels really good. It's so sleek.
Okay, now what's special about these bags?
Scout. So we love Scout because reusable is where it's at. So we don't want disposable. They've got all of their gift bags that are reusable instead of disposable paper. And then what I love is you've got durable handles, reinforced bottoms. So not only are these reusable, but truly built to last. Scout makes reliable stuff. These start at under $4.
And 50% off?
Exactly. 50% off on the whole assortment. And we also have umbrellas from them online. We got a lot more online from them.
What am I smelling right now? What am I smelling?
Yeah, so this is Sensicles, and you're smelling the scent of a real tree, though this is fake. And that's because we have their little scent sticks right here that you can stick into. You could put into a tree, any kind of greenery, a reef, and you want that authentic smell, but you don't necessarily have the real tree, or you just like the authentic smell, not even on a tree, but someplace else in your house. We also have little ornaments from them, and all of these have the scents built in, so you can either choose that great fir, or there's a cinnamon that I love too. Everything slashed in half starts at $9.
It smells like a Christmas tree.
It does, right? It really does. It really does.
We're gonna make this at home?
Yeah, so Almond Cow, you can make fresh plant-based milks from home where you control the ingredients. So a lot of people want a non-dairy alternative, and some of the store-bought options have junk in them. They're not always the best ingredients, and so you control the ingredients. You can make milks, and so anything from almond, cashew, oat, coconut, so it's not even just the nut milks. And then what's cool about this too is you can use it. They have these unbelievable recipes on their site. You can make tarts and gravies and non-dairy butters, so many things beyond just the milk. Easy to use, no mess, done in minutes. They've created great sets for us that are all 50% off, plus
free shipping.
You got it.
had to do this for
We
your
had to
for
do
your
that. We had to
anniversary.
do that.
We are the only ones who want to celebrate you. I believe you're going to recognize this person coming on out. Your daughter, Emma! You're mini-me! You're mini-me!
You are really getting me this morning.
What do you want to say to your mom, Emma?
You're the best ever. Happy 20 years. I'm obsessed
You're really
with you.
getting me.
You guys
You
are
are
so
getting
romantic.
me. You are getting me. And you're going to be in trouble because she told me she had a meeting early this morning.
No. A daughter not being truthful? Never.
Never.
No.
I love this girl.
I love you.
Emma, thank you for sharing your mom with us all these years.
She's the best.
I know. We've known you since you were tiny. Congratulations on 20 years. And we partner with these companies on these great deals. And you can get them by heading directly to our website. Can you come back tomorrow?
Yes.
Can we come back tomorrow?
Please.
Yes.
Christmas at Windsor Castle. Lama Hassan has looked at the festive makeover at the royal residence.
The festive season is finally here, and the royal residence in Windsor is getting in the holiday spirit.
This is so exciting. We're inside Windsor Castle, so come with us to look at the dazzling decorations over the festive period.
We got a sneak preview of the castle's Christmas display, which opens to the public today.
Wow, look at this. It's magnificent.
Decked with thousands of twinkling lights, hundreds of baubles, and 8 trees, the ancient castle was once home to Queen Elizabeth and where Prince William and Kate frequently hold royal meetings.
Come along, guys, because we are stepping into Christmas and 1,000 years of royal history right here at Windsor Castle. This is the Crimson Drawing Room. It is described as one of the most elaborate rooms here at Windsor Castle, and it's easy to see why.
And for the first time ever, Queen Mary's doll's house, one of the most famous in the world, is getting a Christmas makeover to celebrate its 100th anniversary.
It's a really special object and people love to see it. So having Christmas decorations in there for the first time is really exciting.
The centerpiece of the festive display is the 20-foot fir tree in St. George's Hall, which has grown nearby in Windsor Home Park.
So it's always particularly popular with families at this time of year because obviously the decorations add to that atmosphere and there are activities to take part in. So it's always a family time.
Lama Hassan, ABC News, Windsor.
And I love what she was wearing through that piece. I just came back from London. Boy, the decorations, just as you saw, that are already out all around town. Beautiful. I wasn't in the castle. I wasn't in the castle, but she's good.
Let's go to Ginger.
It was gorgeous. All right, so let's go to Notre Dame, the cathedral in Paris. It is days away from reopening after that devastating fire 5 years ago. And this morning, our friends at National Geographic are giving us a rare look inside after the painstaking effort to restore it. Millions watched as the famous spire atop Notre Dame came crashing down in 2019. And now, National Geographic getting rare access to the cathedral as more than 2,000 work to resurrect the beloved landmark. Thomas van Houtreve, one of the few allowed to document the restoration.
Because of the lead contamination on the site, they sort of set up these barriers and locker rooms before you could get inside. You have to take off your street clothes and put on a hazmat suit. So it was kind of a universe all of its own, this hive of activity.
After 5 years of nonstop work, Notre Dame is set to reopen in just 16 days, a stunning feat. In that short time, more than 2,000 statues and decorative features were restored or recreated, including the 52 famous Chimera statues. 43,000 square feet of lead was used to repair the destroyed roof. The spire now standing tall again, with one unique change.
Everything else has been rebuilt identically as it was before the fire, except for the rooster on the very, very top. And the main thing they changed is that the wings sort of turn into flames as they go up, and so it looks a little bit more like, the mythical phoenix rising from the ashes.
Amazingly, it is not just the fire damage that was fixed. Other parts of Notre Dame got a top-to-bottom cleaning and refurbishment, and we are told that the inside feels brand new. You can find the full collection of images at natgeo.com/photos and in Nat Geo's December issue.
We are celebrating this year's 58th Annual CMA Awards this morning, and Lara is joining us again from Nashville with a sweet story honoring the writers of some of our favorite hits. We can't wait to hear all about this, Lara. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, one of the most heartfelt moments of last night's ceremony celebrated the talents on the charts as well as the next generation of up-and-comers. This segment is sponsored by Chevrolet, who teamed up with some of the industry's biggest stars to provide resources and education for the future artists who will write the songs that touch our lives.
Yeah, boy, I'm riding home in a 4x4 by you, babe, from the bayou to Kentucky.
Overnight, the 58th annual CMA Awards is showcasing the many artists that make country music so special.
Looking for a ride. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
The CMA Award for Song of the Year goes to...
Ready?
Ready?
White Horse!
Including songwriters.
I am taken aback. Thank you so much for this.
The people behind the soundtracks to some of life's biggest moments.
And thank you for the gift of songwriting.
Country star Dustin Lynch taking the stage to honor those lyrical masters.
Many of the greatest songwriters were inspired by everyday life, things they know, trust, and love.
Teaming up with our sponsor, Chevrolet, to highlight their talent.
Some things open the door to our hearts, and the right song holds the keys.
Chevrolet and country music have a linked history going back decades, a true driving force behind some of the most inspiring country music songs.
Chevy is supporting young country artists of the future so they continue writing songs that open our hearts.
And Lynch sharing a special message for those future writers.
And to honor songwriters of the past and present, as well as encourage the next generation, Chevy has made a donation to the Nashville Songwriters Foundation. From Chevrolet and all of us, thank you to the songwriters.
Thank you indeed. Such a beautiful part of a packed evening. So empowering for the future of country songwriting. Robin?
And those lyrics, they get us every time in country music. Yeah. Thank you so much and safe journey home. Safe travels home. Thank you, Lara. We'll see you soon. What we got coming up?
Jaleel White. He's telling us about growing up as that guy, Urkel. We'll be right back. We're back now with my conversation with Jaleel White, who starred as Urkel in Family Matters and turned, did I do that?
Well done.
I can hear myself. Into a 90s catchphrase. Jaleel is now a proud father and has a new memoir called Growing Up Urkel, which covers his life as a child star and beyond.
Hi, Mr. Winslow. I'm Steve Urkel.
We all know Steve Urkel with his signature suspenders, oversized glasses, and that classic catchphrase.
Did I do that?
Portrayed for 9 seasons on the hit 90s sitcom Family Matters by Jaleel White. Now, he's revealing what went on behind the scenes in his new memoir, Growing Up Urkel. You describe playing Urkel as a physical transformation, like being an athlete.
Yeah.
And what was that process like?
For me, playing Steve Urkel was paid schizophrenia.
Prepare to be pummeled.
It really was, man.
So what was it physically that made it tough for you?
Over time, things tend to become more cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to become a little more pronounced because now the audience is waiting for did I do that? So you can milk it more and the voice goes higher than it was.
But that kind of came with a price too. It kind of affected you medically to try to hit that tone.
When I got older, I actually had a little procedure to try to help out my vocal cords and I'm fine now, I'm fine.
And we've seen in that era of child stars, a lot of trouble for a lot of child stars.
Yeah.
How were you able to navigate that?
Well, I had a hover mom. So, I think something that's not addressed enough about trauma that hits child actors on sets is a lot of parents are leaving their kids exposed to an adult environment and the parent is nowhere around. Dropping your kid off on a movie studio lot is not the same as dropping your kid off at school. So my mom was always popping out of somewhere, checking up on me.
Mama knew what she was doing.
That part.
But Family Matters went off the air in 1998.
Woo, 9 years.
And as you were growing up and you're trying to envision, what you're going to do in your future, what you're going to do with your career, did you ever think that playing that character held you back?
Definitely, at times. Are you kidding me? Come on. But ultimately, as you get older, especially when I had my daughter, it's like I'm less concerned with impressing people, and I'm more concerned with maintaining my dignity and providing for my daughter. And I've been able to do that at a pretty high clip for my entire adult life.
But you're joining something else too.
Uh-oh. Am I allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, you're allowed to talk about Disney Star Wars series on Disney Plus.
It's called Skeleton Crew.
What did you do? We're lost.
It's starring Jude Law, and it's got a real Goonies feel to it. It comes out December 3rd, and I think it's going to be fantastic. The kids were so fun to work with. I just think it's going to restore the childhood magic that's supposed to be associated with Star Wars.
Well, give me the plot. I'm joking. I can't. I ain't gonna
you get me in trouble.
I couldn't help but notice it. You got that Lionel Richie.
I got the lean, dog.
You got that Teddy Pendergrass, that Michael Jackson. Everybody with the lean, the white suit shirt, the silk shirt. You get him, boy.
Hey man, I don't take myself seriously, man. That's a message to people from the R&B era.
Yes.
To say we got fire inside these pages.
I thought about that when I saw that post. You said originally he was only supposed to be in one episode in the first season?
One episode mid-season, and that one episode mid-season turned into 9 years.
Wow.
And we were saying earlier, we can't imagine the show without him.
No,
Impossible.
No.
I mean, a great guy, great character, but really, really a great man, a great father. And Growing Up Urkel is available right now. He said there's fire in those pages, and there sure are.
Our favorite thing is to wish Michael happy birthday one more time.
Thank you, everybody.